Welcome to Berlin, Germany's capital city and the second largest city in Europe. It's home to many historic buildings. We're here at the Lilly Hennock Sportsplatz for the fourth and final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. We look down the 70-meter range and, well, it's been a little bit of a fresh day today, but the big story here is the gusty wind conditions. It's Recurve Sunday, and coming up now, it's the all-important individual medal matches for the women and men, and then the exciting mixed team matches as well. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me in the commentary box is US archer Crystal Govin. Crystal, amazing lineup this afternoon.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch these gold medal matches, which will determine who makes the all-inclusive World Cup finals.
Well, let's take a look at how the standings are ahead of this last stage. Kang Chae-young of Korea and Zheng Yuchai of China qualify for the Moscow finals as stage winners. Qualified by rankings, it's Chinese Taipei's Tanya Ting, Japan's Sugimoto Tomomi, and Kui Zhan, the second Chinese archer in there, and then the Russian Ksenia Pereva. Coming up now, it's time for the bronze medal match in the Recurve women's individual shooting over the longer Olympic distance of 70 meters here in Berlin. And take a look at how the athletes got to this stage. It's Tanya Ting of Chinese Taipei, the 25-year-old, up against China's 18-year-old Anqi Zhuan. Tanya Ting taking out teammate Li Chen-ying in the quarterfinals, losing to Korea's An San in the semis. And as you can see, Anqi Zhan coming through the bottom of the order, knocking out the Spanish Galistio before losing to the other Korean Jeon Ina. So it's Tanya Ting against Anqi Zhan for bronze here in the women's recurve individual. Let's go straight down to the range.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the Recurve Women's bronze medal match.
Well, big smile on the face for Anqi Zhan. Tanya Ting, by contrast, looking focused and determined.
On target number 1, representing China.
We take a look at their career stats, and as you can see, Tanya Ting has the higher average arrow, but Anqi Zhan wins more percentages of her matches, but she certainly won't want this to go to a tiebreaker. Tanya Ting has bags more experience and bags more World Cup podiums. Crystal, all the pressure off Anqi Zhan, the Chinese athlete, on target 2?
Yeah, I think so, and you can see it on her face. She's out there, she's just enjoying the spotlight. She made the finals, and she's happy with that, you can tell.
And the conditions very changeable here. Look, we're both sitting here with our sunglasses in our hands, because 1 minute it's bright sunshine, and the next minute, as soon as the sun goes away, it gets considerably darker and considerably colder.
Yeah, and when that wind picks up, that just makes it that much colder out here.
And gusty to boot as well. We can see the wind blowing the shirt of Tanya Ting. This for the bronze medal in the recurve women's. Anqi Zhan on target 2 will shoot first.
So I think that's the worst arrow we've seen as a start today.
Followed by a 10 from Tanya Ting.
But again, we're shooting set system here, so you can have a bad arrow in a set and still get away with it and win the entire match.
Well, both going left.
So she's grouping.
Yeah, the group's not great. It's great, but it's not in the right place, and the group is, well, near perfect for Tanya Ting. 3 arrows. This goes really fast. Good correction from Anki Zhan, but a 5 enough for Tanya Ting to take the first 2 set points.
And solid 9, great group for her. She's going to feel good about that. Opening up with a 2-0 lead.
It's a clear 2-0 lead now after first set for Tanya. Taipei number 4 in the qualification, while Anki Wang from China was number 3.
Well, the 2 sevens that started things off for Anki Zhan were in roughly the same place. The grouping really good. She must have had to make some kind of correction because I don't think they were necessarily wind affected, those first 2.
No, I would guess not. I'm guessing just a change from the practice venue. Maybe a little bit stronger of a shot.
Tanya Ting looking very focused. Anki Zhan on target 2, the closest to us. Trailing by 2 set points, will shoot first in the second set.
There's the 10 she was looking for in the first set.
So as Crystal said, the score's wiped clear for the start of a new set. And Anki Zhan responding well.
And each archer does have 20 seconds to shoot the shot, but you'll notice both of these women shoot very quick shots.
Opportunity to put this one out of reach with a 10.
Pretty long hold for her on that. We see a 7.
Pulled it left, and now the opportunity switches over to Tanya Ting. Into the 10, and it's 28 out of a possible 30, and 4 set points already for Tanya Ting. The target is 6 points for the win and the bronze medal here in Berlin. Well, a much better start for Anki Zhan, but the 3rd arrow after the long hold, as you said, Crystal, going up into the 7, the response from Tanya Ting straight down the middle.
Yes, she's feeling confident. You can tell she's out there. She's just shooting her shot, and they're going where she wants. Nice fist bump with her coach. She comes to the line, but she will keep shooting second.
Trailing archer always shoots first. Start of set 3. They're both shooting fast, but because of the set system, it's also pretty fast. In the individual can be done in 3.
Yeah, so starts with an 8, not what she wanted. She knows she has to win this set or tie this set to continue shooting this match.
So much experience from the athlete from Chinese Taipei. Tanya Ting has got 1 foot on the podium already.
Another one, and again, she's grouping well, just not in the middle.
Oh, well, Tanya Ting's dropped one into the 8. Strong arrow required from Anne to put some pressure on Tanya Ting.
And she did it. She shot an X. But still, all Tanya needs is an 8 to tie, a 9 to win.
9 arrows for Tanya Ting. A 6-0 win for the athlete from Chinese Taipei. Tanya Ting has taken bronze here in Berlin.
Just pure domination in that. I think she had 1 arrow out of the yellow that entire match.
Just incredibly fast. Coach Nee there talking to Tanya Ting as she accepts the applause from the crowd here in Germany. Just like that, a flash of a pan, 9 arrows, and you're a bronze medalist. Of course, you've been here all week qualifying for this. It's not just about today, but these individual matches can happen so fast.
Exactly, and you're out there, and before you know it, the match is over, and you kind of look at your coach and say, wait, it's done?
Confirmation there, Tanya Ting takes bronze here in Berlin. Well, just like that, the bronze in the recurve women's individual is done. And Kijin starting slowly. Good grouping to the left with these 2 sevens, but just needed to center up. She did actually end the set with a 10, but it wasn't enough. Tanya Ting starting with a 29 in the first set out of a possible 30. A good response from An Qiujian, but as Crystal said, Tanya Ting dominated from start to finish. A perfect 9-arrow win for the archer from Chinese Taipei. There's a lot of youngsters here getting a treat and watching the high-level archery on show. Coming up now, it's time to decide who is going to take the gold in the recurve women's individual here in Berlin. Well, the Koreans brought their B team to Germany, but what a B team it is. It's An San coming through the top of the order and really dominant as well. And she's up against her Korean teammate, Jeon In-ah, who came through the bottom of the order. So it's the 2 Koreans who have a massive chance to make it through to the World Cup finals. An all-Korean affair for gold in Berlin. And Berlin represents the last chance to qualify for the World Cup final in Moscow in September. This is our lineup for the final. One of them will go to Moscow. Kang Chae-young won in Medellin and in Shanghai to book her place. Zheng Yi-chai won in Antalya and is also confirmed. The athletes qualified by ranking are Tan, Sugimoto, An, and the Russian Perova, plus the winner of this match, Jeon and An. It's a big chance for both of them.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity for these younger Korean archers to get that experience of shooting in the World Cup finals.
Well, a thriller in store for us. We're sure it's going to be high quality. Let's go back to the range to welcome these 2 Koreans out onto the field of play.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the recurve women's gold medal match.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heißen Sie die Athleten für das Einzel-Goldfinale der Recurve-Damen willkommen.
Representing the Republic of Korea.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 1 aus der Republik Korea.
An San.
So An San on target 1. As you can see, neither of these athletes have any medals. They are in the second tier of a very, very strong Korean squad. And one of them is going to make it to the Moscow finals. The 25-year-old Jeon In-ah is on target 2, up against her 18-year-old teammate.
And you see both of them a little bit more relaxed than you typically see from the Korean women. having a little bit more fun, it looks like, out there. I think they're both just really happy to be out there.
But this opportunity that's presented itself to them, obviously, you know, they've worked very hard to get here and they are a high standard of archer. They've got a big chance not of going to Moscow, but also having a chance of winning.
Exactly.
It's huge.
So I think it comes down to which one is able to control their nerves, handle this finals setting. Is going to win this match. You see a little bit of confusion there. She wasn't sure if she was supposed to come to the line at the same time. So again, a little bit of inexperience in this finals venue.
Well, Anne sets the tone with a 9.
Giving her sight a couple clicks we see there.
Ten.
Well, we knew it was going to be high quality and dialed into the 10s already.
And it's matched. So she improved every arrow. Started with a 9, then a 10, and then an X to finish up.
Quick release then, but the first set goes to Anne San, and as you said, just getting better and better with each arrow.
Exactly. I actually had the opportunity to shoot qualification on the same target as Anne, so it was great to get that opportunity and really see up close how great her groups were, even in those crazy windy conditions.
Well, they matched each other through the first 2 arrows each, then Anne shot this 10, the third, and the very best of her 3 arrows in the first set. John only managing a 9, and it wasn't enough. Interesting to see that both the Korean athletes have coaches behind them, and that's not normal. Ocean Tech is with Anne on target 1, and it's Oh Kyo Moon on target 2, providing support to these young athletes. So Anne leading by 2 set points. John will shoot first in the second set.
Oof. So a little bit of a surprise there. I was really expecting these two to keep their arrows in the yellow for this match.
9.
Back
Follows it
into
up
the
with an
middle.
X.
Still a big opportunity though for Anne to take a commanding lead after 2 sets.
That's exactly what she wanted right there. Put an X down there, put the pressure back on her teammate.
Good response after the 7 from John Inner. And San needs
Just
an 8
needs a 9 to
an
win
8
the
to
set.
draw, a 9 to get the win. And she puts it in the 10. It's often the way when we talk about the Koreans that they might take 1 or 2 arrows to find the middle, but once they find it, very
Watch out.
rarely come away from it.
Winner of the qualification round with 649 points.
She has had a cracking start, the 18-year-old, keeping her calm throughout, almost emotionless. Since the sort of smiling when they came out, she's gone into focused mode. And Anne San, well, she just got better through the first set, 9, 10, and then an X, and then matched it in the second.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting to note, though, her lowest arrow is about midway through the X ring, so all of her arrows are on the high side of the target.
Well, you saw Anne there in the background behind the line judge, just waving to someone in the crowd.
Yeah, I think she's just enjoying herself out there. sometimes that's when you shoot your best, when you're just up there having fun, singing to the music.
Start of the third set, John in a spot of bother. Lots of Korean supporters, young ones as well, in the crowd here in Berlin.
And that's the start she really needed there. Put some pressure on Ann.
She's got the middle of the target in her sights, and
see her limb there going side to side just a little bit, but puts it in the 10 ring.
very unfussy process, hey, when she goes through her draw. It's lovely. John Inner on for a perfect 30, though.
And watch both these archers, both on the same team, but look at their form. It's very different, the way they set up their shot, the way they draw back to their anchor.
A 9 to win the gold medal here in Berlin. Oh, she puts it right down the middle.
10, 10, 10.
And San with a perfect 30. She's got the gold in Berlin in quick fashion. Just 9 arrows required from the 18-year-old, and she has just booked her place at the World Cup finals in Moscow.
She missed 2 points in 3 sets.
Well, there seems to be a great deal of camaraderie between these two. You've got to think that John's pretty disappointed there, but seems to be happy to celebrate with her teammate.
Yeah, I think she's going to be pretty happy. I mean, she got the opportunity to come here as part of the B team, won team medal, and now gets the silver medal individually.
Well, An San is the gold medalist in the recurve women's individual here in Korea. She'll go through to the Hyundai World Cup finals in Moscow as a stage winner. We'll take a look back over this performance from the 18-year-old An San, starting with a 9, then hitting the 10 ring before going one better with an X. And she shot almost perfectly, dropping just 2 points. It was a similar story in the second set for the 18-year-old Korean. Into the 10 ring. And just dialed into the center for a perfect 30 to finish things off in 9 arrows. A warm handshake from her teammate John Inner, who will stand on the second step of the podium. The 2 Koreans on the B team are top of the pile here in Berlin. That youngster's getting a great view. Binoculars, the order of the day, looking down a 70-meter range. And yeah, hi, you're on TV.
Gonna hide.
Well, lots of young fans, and what a treat they've had here. The Recurve Women's Individual Tournament now done. 2 Koreans right at the top. An San taking gold from Jeon Inner in that brilliant playoff for the gold medal. Tanya Ting dominant in the bronze medal match, beating An Zhan of China for the 3rd spot on the podium. So that's the 4th stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup season. And here are the standings after the events. Tanya Ting, top of the pile, but qualified as a ranking athlete. Kang Chae-young has taken a stage win along with Zhen Yichai, and then here An San is the 2nd Korean to win a stage on the circuit. Also qualified by ranking, Sugimoto Tomomi, An Zhan, and Ksenia Perova of Russia. Well, Recurve Sunday Has a lot to offer. It's gone super quick though. The first 2 matches done in just 18 arrows between the pairings. Women's event done. Coming up very soon, it's the Recurve men's individual bronze and gold medal match. There are a bunch of very, very young fans here in Berlin. It's really great to see the youngsters coming in and watching this high-class archery.
Yeah, it definitely is. You hear about people coming to archery later in life, but it's really the kids and getting them started early and excited about the sport.
Well, hello to you all. We hope you're enjoying it. There is a have a go session going on just outside the main stands. But now it's time to celebrate the medalists in the Recurve Women's Individual Tournament here in Berlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the Recurve Women.
Meine Damen und Herren, es folgt die Siegerehrung für Recurve Damen.
Medals will be presented by World Archery Vice President
Die Medaillen werden übergeben vom Vizepräsidenten der World Archery.
Jörg Walker. Gifts will be presented by World Archery Europe Executive Board Member
Die Präsente werden übergeben vom Vorstandsmitglied der World Archery Europe.
Sabrina Steffens. Bronze medal representing
Well, here they are,
Chinese
the
Taipei.
medalists in the Recurve Women's Individual.
Taipei.
Chinese Taipei's Tan Yating, the 25-year-old, picks up a bronze. Third one of the season, in fact. Bronze in Antalya and in Shanghai. A hat-trick of bronze completed here in Berlin. Presented with a bronze medal by World Archery Vice President Jörg Brokamp. The Berlin Bears being given to all the medalists here in Berlin. Presented by Sabrina Steffens, World Archery Europe Executive Board Member.
Silver medal representing the Republic of
Well, a pair of
Korea.
Koreans from the B team
Aus der Republik Korea.
came through the field to compete for gold. It was 25-year-old Jeon Inna who fell foul to her teammate in that gold medal match, but she's here to pick up her silver medal.
You like Berlin? You like Berlin?
A little bit of translation issue going on there.
I think you may be right. I think she got the fact that he's saying something about Berlin. Great to see a smile on her face, given that she's going to be disappointed at having had a little glint of perhaps going to Moscow.
Representing the Republic of Korea.
Die Goldmedaille aus der Republik
But this
Korea.
18-year-old surely is a continuation of the conveyor belt of great archers that Korea produces. I'm sure we're going to see more and more of her. Anne San, currently ranked 181 in the world, is the champion of Berlin, and she will be on the field of play at the World Cup finals in Moscow. Brilliant performance from the teenager.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the
Cherry on the
Republic
cake
of Korea.
is that she
Meine
will
Damen und
hear
Herren, bitte erheben
her
Sie sich
country's
zur
anthem.
Nationalhymne der Republik Korea.
gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte geben Sie alle unseren Athleten einen herzlichen Applaus.
Well, there we have it. And San, the gold medalist here in Berlin, beating her teammate Jeon Ina, the two Koreans, first and second at the last Hyundai Archery World Cup here in Berlin. Tanya Ting picking up the bronze medal for Chinese Taipei. Well, certainly an impressive lineup for Korea, but you mentioned their form, Crystal, different in their approach, and here I think we've got a great comparison.
Yeah, so we look at Anne, comes in a little bit higher, but comes in then straight down and into her chin. Very smooth draw. Versus Jeon kind of has a little bit of a hitch, and that's her coming in and settling into the target before she pulls into her anchor.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's each their own. There's nothing wrong with either of their techniques, or either of their shapes or their alignments. It's what works for you.
Exactly, and that's something I think a lot of people miss in the sport of archery. They think they have to do something a very specific way. There's one way that's the right way, and it really is what works for you, your body, and how to be successful putting those arrows consistently in the 10 ring.
Well, that's the women's individual done on a Recurve Sunday. It's time to turn our attention to the men's competition. After 3 stages, we see Brady Ellison of the USA and Lee Ryu-Suk going through to the finals in Moscow as stage winners. Currently, we know that Chef van den Berg of the Netherlands, Mete Gazos of Turkey, and Mauro Nespoli of Italy have qualified by rankings. The rest are yet to be confirmed, and we have a cracker of a tale to tell here with these 2 medal matches coming up in the Recurve men's event. Well, the crowd will be very happy about the sun coming up. And coming up now, it's the Recurve men's bronze medal match. Korea feature in the bronze medal match. The 37-year-old Oh Jin-hyuk has come through the top of the order. He had to beat his teammate in the semi-finals and failed, going down 6-4, putting him into the bronze medal match. Mauro Nespoli at the bottom of the order. Well, he lost out to Mete Gazos in the semi-finals, so it's Oh against Nespoli for bronze here in Berlin. We may not have seen Oh on the circuit much, but he got a gold medal at the London Olympics in 2012. Goes up against Mauro Nespoli of Italy. Let's go down and welcome them out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the Recurve men's bronze medal match.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heißen Sie die Athleten für dieses Einzel-Bronzefinale der Recurve willkommen.
Okay, Crystal, let's get straight into this. Oh Jin-hyuk is 37 years old. He got a gold medal at London 2012 in the individual and a team bronze. Mauro Nespoli, he's world number 6 currently, 31 years old. Gold medal in London 2012 and a silver in the team event in Beijing. But look, Nespoli has a higher average. Oh shoots and wins more matches.
Yeah, I mean, this is a battle of veterans here. Oh may be on the B team now, but he's no stranger to these finals matches. And Nespoli, he's wishing it was windy right now because I'm pretty sure he shoots more weight than anyone on the circuit currently.
1-1 in the head-to-head. They've played each other twice, and they've both taken 1 win. Whatever happens here, we can confirm that one of them will take the lead in the head-to-head. And with Oh now sort of sitting in that B squad for the Koreans, how many more times can we expect these two to meet?
It's anyone's guess. I mean, we've seen people kind of fade down to that B team for Korea and come back even stronger fighting. So, you know, it's anyone's guess what Oh's future is going to be.
Well, Nespoli on target 2. We just got a close-up of his bow. I'm sure we'll see that again. We talked about his weight, but it is Oh on target 1 to shoot first.
So 9 start, not bad, but you see him giving his sight a couple clicks. It's a little high.
9.
And almost an identical spot between the two. So again, we've talked about coming off the practice range. A lot of these archers are hitting high. Looks like the wind's starting to pick up a little.
Yeah, that bow moving around. But oh, into the X ring. Now you talked about bow weight. How can we see that on this shot here?
It's really, you're not going to be able to tell from the video because each limb is marked on the inside where it gets inserted into the risers.
So O can put the first set out of reach with a 10 here.
And he does it.
So, I like your term, I'm going to use it now. Marion Espoli has a freebie here.
Exactly.
9.
9.
Well, just like that, the sun comes out,
27 Ringe für Mauro.
shining brighter on Oh Jin Hyuk. He's taken the first set, 2 set points to love. He leads in this bronze medal match.
So the question is, are we going to get a match that's more than 3 ends?
Shooting against each other. Mauro Espoli, Team Olympic champion 2012, silver medalist 2008 at the Olympics. Of
Well, the two of them are looking down the field, and a 9 to start with for O, followed up by 2 10s. And that one was a real beauty, an X. And then, as we've said before, once the Koreans dial in, watch out. So Nespoli will shoot first, has an opportunity to put down some pressure on O.
Exactly. He's going to want to put a 10 down there, put some pressure on, have 3 good shots, and he can tie back the match.
The set system allows for fightbacks. Nespoli will get us underway in the second set of this bronze medal match.
No vale 4 vicino.
9.
And you hear his coach in the background.
We talked about bow weight, used a little bit of maneuvering afterwards. O shooting at 205 kilometers an hour. That's the speed that the arrow's traveling. Nespoli with a heavier weight puts it in the 10, but look at that, nearly 30 kilometers an hour faster on the arrow.
That's just nuts. I mean, it's incredible the weight he's able to pull with that recurve bow. Because unlike compound, where you have the let off and you're really only holding a couple pounds at the end, these recurves, it gets heavier and heavier, and you're holding all of that weight when you're at full draw trying to aim.
All square, Nespoli will want a 10. He gets a 10. 29 out of a 30. A little bit of pressure on O.
So it's either going to be a draw or Nespoli's going to take the set.
Well,
Eight.
Surprising 8.
a dropped 8, and we have seen this today. Oh, discussing it with his coach about perhaps he thinks that the wind conditions down at the end of the range are slightly different from the shooting line.
Yeah, or maybe a bit of a gust hit his arm right as he was releasing. Not sure exactly what that movement was referencing.
Well, Nespoli, well, he started not too badly, but 3 9s from him in the first set, followed up by a 4th 9 at the start of the second, and then he found the center. Those 2 closest to the X in the middle of the screen are 10s, and he looks like he's found the center of the target himself.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this third set. Does he stay in the middle now that he's found it, or does he have a little bit of a hiccup and give it back to O?
Well, we thought he was going to at least level up, but O, having shot so well, drops this one into the 8. And, well, we know the wind has been playing its part here in Berlin. And perhaps it affected O in that second set. The Korean will start the third here for the bronze medal.
Opens with a 9, gives his sight a couple clicks again.
And again high, Crystal.
Yeah, it seems to be that's where people are missing.
Now the door open with an 8 from Nespoli. Oh, takes a deep breath before his draw.
And another 9, but that could be enough. Nespoli needs 2 10s just to keep things even.
10.
And there's one.
X a destra.
천천히 차분하게.
All tied up going into the 3rd and final arrow of this set.
날개 힘 좀 잡고.
9.
So a surprising 9-9-9 end by O. That's a 27.
Opportunity for Nespoli.
10 to win the set, 9 to even it up. And he drills an X.
Almost right on the center of the target. Look, and I have to tell you that it's the target from the shooting line looks miles away for a mere mortal like myself. But hitting that X, you're talking about at 70 meters, hitting something that's less than a centimetre wide.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
The 10 itself is no bigger than an apple. Just hitting it so consistently is amazing.
So you see his one arrow was flipped opposite the others. That's going to be his agent noticed either something wrong with the arrow or that was the arrow that was out of the rest of the group. So that's a signal for him to check that arrow before he shoots it.
Well, there is the heavy bow of Mauro Nespoli, shooting on average above 230 kilometers an hour. He's come from behind in this match to lead 4-2. So Oh Jin-hyek of Korea will shoot first at the start of the 4th set.
차분하게.
9.
Another 9 by O. Again on the high side. Gave his sight a couple more clicks.
9.
9 vicino a sinistra.
So we're all even through one arrow.
We talked about form. Fairly unfussy, uncomplicated draw from O. Nespoli's got a little bit of a unique factor to his draw. It's almost like he slightly turns away from the target.
10.
But again, it's what works for him. He's able to put 10s down
Sulla
range.
riga ore 7.
Mini advantage to the Italian. O needs to put down a big one here.
O needs at least a tie for this set or the match is over.
Puts it into the 10. Some pressure on Nespoli, but a 10 from the Italian will do it.
You see a little bit of shake in his elbow.
10.
Oh, he's got the 10 though. A 29 out of 30 for the Italian, and he's taken the bronze here in Berlin, winning 6-2 against Oh Jin-hyek.
Mi sembra 10 quella sotto.
Ja, sagen wir mal. Was
Sì,
ist
perché
das?
è interna
Die Uhr
praticamente.
hängt. Da müssen wir jetzt gleich mal gucken. Was dort entschieden
Incredible
wird. Wir
stuff.
müssen auf die
Coach still talking him through something there. The 29 is not good enough for her, obviously.
We all strive for perfection. Until you're shooting all 30s, you can always do better.
Confirmation there that Mauro Nespoli of Italy, the world number 6, is 31 years old, and he will be on the 3rd step of the podium here in Berlin.
Glückwunsch an Mauro Nespoli zu Bronze.
Thank you for the show. Thank you to the Olympic champion of 2012.
At just 20 years old, Nespoli picked up a silver medal at the Olympic Games. He's come through and picked up a gold at the 2012 Olympic Games, and he's still got bags to offer on the world stage.
One of the greatest things about archery, you see people, we saw 17-year-olds out there earlier today, and we've seen 37, 47 out there winning medals as well.
Well, a cracking match from Nespoli. He came from behind to win that one. Oh, started so well. A 9 and 2 10s to take the first set. But Nespoli, with his heavy bow weight, dialed into the center of the target. And his unique leaning over style started to put pressure on O. O threw in an 8, and suggesting that there was a bit of wind disturbance. We don't know whether that was on the shooting line or further down the range, but it didn't affect Nespoli, perhaps because of that heavy bow weight. He needed a 10 to finish it, and a 10 is what he got. Well, the crowd being entertained, the first match going over 3 sets. Let's have a look at Nespoli's arrows here across the match. Just one drifting over to the 8, but otherwise the grouping is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really centered group. It looks really solid for a finals venue.
Brilliant stuff from the Italian. Good enough to take out O for bronze. Coming up now, it's the gold medal match in the Recurve men's individual here in Berlin.
Und jetzt kommen wir zum nächsten Goldfinale.
It's a big one. It's an interesting one. Let's just take a quick look at how the two athletes got to this stage. Ranked 171 in the world, Bae Jae-hyun came through the top of the order, taking out 2 teammates on the way to this gold medal match. Mete Gazos is the reigning champion. He won here last year, and he's back in the gold medal match to defend his title. Well, the crowd really happy to see this one. Gazos loves it in Berlin. He's been on the podium twice already this season and is defending the title here in Berlin. Last year showed us just how much he likes competing here in Germany.
Yani çok mutluyum. Öncelikle geçen sene de burada final atmıştım ve kazanmıştım. Yani buradaki sahayı daha çok seviyorum galiba Antalya'ya göre. Çünkü Antalya'da 3. olmuştum. Burada gene finale çıktım. Moskova'da orada güzel olacak ya. Güzel, mutluyum yani. Gene aynı şekilde bir şov olacağını düşünüyorum. Çok güzel maç olacağını düşünüyorum. Ama bu sefer şu tarafa kalmaması için uğraşacağım.
That was a brilliant finish from the Turkish athlete Gazos in Berlin last year. Bit of a showman. And look, even the athletes from the other countries mimicking Gazos's, well, bit of flair with his fist bump. Well, just time to have his 11s, that young man. Waiting for the athletes in the wings. I think the judges and the coaches may already be out, hence the round of applause. It's time to go back down to the range to welcome out the gold medal contenders here in Berlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the Recurve men's gold medal match.
20-year-old Mete Gazos from Turkey leads them out. He's the world number 5. He took a bronze in Antalya, a silver in Shanghai, and is the reigning champion of the Hyundai Archery World Cup in Berlin, having picked up the gold in 2018. But he's up against the world number 171, who has a higher average arrow and a better percentage match winning stat. Gazos leads the line in terms of tiebreakers, but Bae Jae-hyun is a serious contender here at 30 years old. The Korean has no World Cup podiums. Gazos, of course, has that 1 gold, plus 8 other medals on World Cup stages. The gold coming here in Berlin just 12 months ago. But the real story here is Korea have brought their B team, the very, very, very good B team. And so there's no Kim Woo-jin here. Kim Woo-jin has not won a stage on the Hyundai Archery World Cup. He lost to his teammate Li Wu-Xiuk in Shanghai. If this man here wins in Berlin, Kim Woo-Jin will not be at the finals in Moscow.
Correct.
It's incredible. Kim Woo-Jin, dominant in this sport for so many years, may not make it to the finale.
The question is, does that put extra pressure on Bey, knowing that he wins and he's in?
Well, there's zero pressure on the 20-year-old Turkish athlete. He has qualified by ranking. A stage win will be the icing on the cake for him this season.
Beautiful, wow.
2 10s to get us underway for gold here in the Recurve men's individual in Berlin.
güzel güzel. Biraz erken oldu.
차분하게 자세 신경 써.
So both open with a 10 and followed up with a 9. So matching each other arrow for arrow so far.
Sağlam çekiş yap. Devam sağ tarafla. İyiydi.
Back in the 10s for Gazos. Pressure on by Jae-hyun. And pulls it to the 9. Great shooting from both of them. 28 out of 30 is a great score, but Gazos went one better to take the first 2 set points. By looking very relaxed. He'll be happy with his 28. That's not a bad start, right?
It's not bad, but he's going to be disappointed in that. All these archers out here at this stage, they expect to shoot 30s.
Such a perfectionist. Crystal Govin, such a perfectionist.
That's how they've got to this level. They have to demand perfection.
정확히 잡아주란 말이야.
Well, it's an interesting lineup here. The road to Moscow has taken its toll this season, but all places for the final are booked except this one. And the question is, which Korean will book it? If Bey wins today, he takes the spot. If he doesn't, Kim Woo-Jin will go. We see that Brady Ellison and Li Wu-Xiuk qualify as stage winners. And we've got 4 athletes qualified by ranking, including Gazos.
And we see 2 Koreans will be going and 2 from the Netherlands.
좀 잡아 더.
So a little surprise there. Bey goes first, had the opportunity to put some pressure, and shoots an 8.
Güzel.
Oh, Gazos loves it. He should move to Berlin. Loves it here.
끝까지 버텨야 돼.
He did say he likes this better than Antalya.
빨리 버텨 더.
Bit of a longer hold from the Korean.
A 9, so a little surprising. Did click his sight there.
Dinamik lazım. Karşıdan geliyor.
Great opportunity for Mete.
Daha iyi atacağız.
In the 9.
Daha iyi atacağız, daha iyi.
Still enough. By Jae-hyun needs a 10.
자, 조준 좀 놓치지 말고 정확히 잡아.
Gets a 9.
Out of 3 arrows, not 1 in the 10 ring. Very surprising.
Dinamik bitsin oğlum ya, çıksın elinden. Güzeldi bu.
So 8-9 liner, but it doesn't matter. Either way, he gets the set points, and it's 4-0 just like that.
Spot on, yeah. The measure there indicated by the asterisk next to the 8, but as Crystal Govin said, makes no difference. It just means a higher score in the set for him, but he already has enough points to take the commanding 4-0 lead. He's not going to let this one go, surely now, Gazos.
No, he told us. We saw that clip, and he said, "I'm not taking this to a shoot-off. I'm winning outright."
Güven kendine. Biraz böyle bir tutukluk var üzerinde. 2 tane çok iyi ok attın. Zaten onlar da 10 gitti. Güven kendine.
Against 2 Olympic champions in the quarter and semi-final, Im Dong-young and Oh Jin-young, while Mete Gazos had to win.
Well, we see a contrast there between the relationship between the coaches and the athletes. Smiles all round in the Turkish camp. And we look at Mete Gazos' arrows across the match so far.
So not much to say here. Pretty centered, a little bit to the left, but overall, you can't complain with a group like that.
Yeah, just a one high 9, but still touching the ring. And now by fighting for his life here in Berlin. Start of the 3rd set.
He has to at least tie or the match is over.
İyi bitsin oğlum.
Gazos leaning over,
Aferin,
unique to him. Also pulls one out to the left.
조준 좀 정확히 잡아.
So again, we go to 6 set points, so a tie would be enough for Bay to get to shoot another end.
Into the 10. That grouping of arrows on the left of the center, very, very tight.
Yes. We're talking centimeters at 70 meters.
Gazos nailing it into the center of the target.
So Bay needs to shoot a 10 here.
끝까지 나가.
Gets a 9, the door open for Mete Gazos. A 10
İyi atış yap.
to take back-to-back titles here in Berlin.
And to win.
Oh, he's done it! The 2018 winner here in Berlin has done it again. Back-to-back victories for Mete Gazos of Turkey here in Berlin. He is a stage winner on the tour this season. He will be going to the Moscow World Cup finals as a stage winner. Brilliant stuff from Mete Gazos of Turkey, taking gold in Berlin.
What fantastic shooting. I mean, that was just textbook beautiful. And the enjoyment, the true joy on his face, you can see it. He's out there having fun.
Brilliant performance. He loves that fist bump, and so do I. Brilliant stuff from the entertainer from Turkey. And I'll tell you what, there'll be a man sitting in Seoul who will be absolutely delighted with that. The win for Mete Gazos here confirmed, and with it, confirmation that Kim Woo-jin, subject to the rankings being confirmed tomorrow, will be in the World Cup finals in Moscow. Bai Hyejun didn't make it through, wasn't on his A game. Mete Gazos definitely was.
Jetzt bereiten wir uns vor auf eine weitere Siegerehrung. Gebt uns einen Moment und dann sehen wir noch.
Crowd really thrilled by that. I think they're starting to take Mete Gazos to heart. Well, she certainly is. Very serious young man. I think he's probably an archer in the making. Mete Gazos, absolutely superb. Came here knowing he was defending a title. To be fair to Bay, he shot some great arrows throughout. But the problem was he dropped in a few 8s along the way. And that's what opened the door for a buoyant, confident Gazos. Those 3 in that end really opened the door. Nothing in the 10, and Gazos capitalized. He needed a 10 to win it. And just like that, he put it right down the center of the target. And the flary fist bump from Gazos, his trademark now, and one of the biggest smiles on the world scene
And
here
again,
in Berlin.
At 20 years of age, he's going to have a big future ahead of him.
The world is his oyster. Brilliant stuff from Mete Gazos. He won in 2018, and he's top of the pile here in Berlin at the Hyundai Archery World Cup Stage 4. He beat Bai Jae-hyun of Korea into silver medal, and it's the Italian Mauro Nespoli who collected the bronze medal, beating Oh Jin-hyek, the other Korean.
Yeah, definitely shocking to see both Koreans lose in the finals match. It's not something we're used to seeing.
Certainly isn't. And the sun coming out again. It seems to come out at the end of every single match, just in time for the medal ceremony, of course. So 4 stages complete here, Shanghai, and then we went to Medellin and Antalya in Turkey. Here in Berlin, the stage winners Brady Ellison, Lee Woo-suk and Mete Gazos qualify automatically for Moscow. By ranking, we have the Dutch archers, Chef Vandenberg and Steve Veijer. Kim Woo-jin will be blowing a sigh of relief. Mete Gazos' win means that he qualifies by ranking along with the Italian Mauro Nespoli, all for the finals in Moscow in September.
Halcyon Decent's latest wind-beating stabilizer for the highest performance level, proved by top-level competitors with both Recurve
Well,
and compound.
the sun coming out here, starting to need a hat in the afternoon in Berlin. Individual matches all done, but the all-exciting mixed team events, or the bronze medal and gold medal match coming up here on Recurve Sunday. The live coverage is brilliant from the World Cup stages and some of the other top events, but you can also keep up to date with what's going on in the world of archery by following our federation on all the usual social media channels. At World Archery is what you're searching for on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and of course Instagram. Well, the clouds are starting to blow over here. The sun has probably been out for the longest it's been out all day, and we can see some of the crowd have actually got hats on, and they've started to pop up a couple of umbrellas, not because of rain, but because of the sun coming up. And very clever for the sponsors to be handing out these beautiful little, what would you call them, Panama hats?
I'm not sure.
Well, hats of some sort.
Some kind of stylish hat.
And they have been entertained with some great archery here. As you said, Crystal, unusual to hear and see the Koreans losing in medal matches back to back. And there is the hat from our sponsors, Hyundai. Sunglasses on as well in the crowd, and the medals are just coming up for the men just in time. The sky brightens up as the fans of archery from all over the world are here supporting all the teams and all the individual athletes. It's been a brilliant fourth stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup, and now it's time to go back down onto the range to present the medals for the Recurve men's individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the Recurve men.
Meine Damen und Herren, es folgt die Siegerehrung für Recurve Herren.
Medals will be presented by World Archery President and IOC Vice President.
Die Medaillen werden übergeben vom Präsidenten der World Archery und Vizepräsidenten des Internationalen Olympischen Komitees.
Pool Evener. Gifts will be presented by German Olympic Sports Confederation Vice President.
Die Präsente werden übergeben von der Vizepräsidentin Leistungssport des Deutschen Olympischen Sportbundes.
Uschi Schmitz. Bronze medal representing Italy.
Die Bronzemedaille aus Italien.
Here they are, time to celebrate our medalists in the Recurve men's individual. Mauro Nespoli collecting the bronze medal here in Berlin. He's having a great season. Very, very popular on the circuit as well. Mauro Nespoli getting his medal by the World Archery President and the International Olympic Committee Vice President, Irga Edner. And the Berlin Bears, presented by the German Olympic Sports Confederation Vice President, Uschi Schmitz.
Silver medal representing the Republic of Korea.
There was a big opportunity for this man to cause perhaps one of the biggest upsets in a few years in the world of archery. He had to win, but he came up against, well, a Turkish roadblock in Mete Gazos. But Bai Jae-hyun, the 30-year-old from Korea, collects the silver medal here in Berlin.
Gold
Die Goldmedaille aus der Türkei.
All sports need superstars. And this young 20-year-old Turkish athlete is just that. A beaming smile. He likes to show. It's back-to-back victories for Mete Gajos at the 4th stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup in Berlin. He won in 2018 and he is the champion in 2019. And boy, what a great smile he has too. Congratulations to him and to all the medalists here. Now it's time for Gazos to hear his Turkish anthem.
Bitte erheben Sie sich für die Nationalhymne der Türkei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to the athletes.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte geben Sie all unseren Athleten einen herzlichen Applaus.
Well, there we have it. Our 3 medalists, Maro Nespoli of Italy collecting the bronze in the recurve men's individual by Jae-hyun of Korea collecting silver. And Mete Gazos of Turkey retaining the title he won here last year with the gold medal. Well, the Anhalter Bahnhof facade, the old train station there, maintained as a bit of a monument here in Berlin. We are very close to the centre as well of the town, and all the famous historic buildings that come with it. Our backdrop is a circus tent, a permanent circus tent, but a multi-sport venue. Time now for the bronze medal match in the all-exciting recurve mixed team event. Crystal, brilliant stuff, the mixed teams.
Yeah, mixed team is always just a lot of fun. People just really enjoy that. Means they were the top qualifier from their team in the men's or women's side.
Well, we see how we got to this bronze medal match. India coming through the top of the order, beating Spain in the quarters before losing to Korea. Now at the bottom, Italy, well, they took out Chinese Taipei impressively in the quarterfinals before losing to a very strong team from Moldova. So it's India versus Italy for the bronze medal. And the Indians came through the ranking round with a 12.82, ranked 5th. Italy a 12.56 to be ranked 7th. And, still plenty of athletes in the crowd from all over the world. It's been an interesting and busy season, this one. The European Games in Minsk has featured some of the athletes here competing on the stage in Berlin, and some of the athletes go on from here to Naples for the Summer Universiade. It's a really, really busy schedule.
Yeah, and some of the seniors are going over to the test event in Tokyo, so I know a lot of archers have made the comment that they're just tired at this point in the season. It's just been go, go, go. They've been on the road more than they've been home, and I think we're going to start seeing some serious fatigue, mental fatigue out of these archers.
Well, if they haven't made Moscow and they're not going to Naples, they will get a bit of a break. But no time for a break for us. It's time to go down to the field of play and welcome the teams out for the mixed team bronze here on Recurve Sunday.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heißen die Athleten für das Bronzefinale der Recurve Mixed Teams willkommen.
Italy lead them out, shooting on target 2. Ella Tanetta and her teammate Mauro Nespoli.
On target number 2, representing Italy.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 2 aus Italien.
World rank number 4, strong lineup for the Italians. Beat Chinese Taipei 5-1 in the quarterfinals before losing by the same score to Moldova in the semifinals. And they're going up against India.
Und jetzt kommen die Herausforderer auf Scheibe Nummer 1.
Some new faces here. We're used to seeing Deepika in the mixed team.
Yep, well, it's Bombalaya Laishram and Atul Verma.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 1 aus Indien.
Bombayala Devi Laishram.
World ranked number 15. They came through Spain 6-2 in the quarterfinals before losing by the same score to Korea in the semifinals. The newest of the disciplines, the mixed team event. It is a lot of fun, and it's a great way of introducing the sport to perhaps people who are new to archery.
Yeah, and it's great for smaller countries that may not be able to fill out a full 3-person men's team or a 3-person women's team. All they need is 1 woman, 1 man at a tournament, and they can shoot the mixed team event.
Opens the sport up to more countries around the world, a target of all Olympic and Paralympic sports. India will shoot first in the bronze medal match in the Recurve mixed team event.
9.
A reminder here, we're in team round set system. We go to a total of 5 points, wins you the match. Solid 10. So each archer is going to shoot a total of 2 arrows each end, 1 at a time.
9.
And the switching over is the key thing here. We've got a good shot of it there. You can't step onto the line until your teammate stepped off it. So
1 point advantage for India after 2 arrows. So she matched her first arrow. Very close to the first high 9 she shot.
Well, just dropping out into the 8th there. Now, the wind had stayed off for about 15 minutes or so, but just as Verma stepped up there was a big gust.
2 9s is going to tie the set.
9.
That's one of them. A 10 will take it here for Mauro Nespoli, and the Italians will claim the first 2 set points. But again, another strong gust of wind.
9.
And right in that group, I mean, they got a beautiful group. It's smaller than the X size, X ring, but it's in the 9 ring, so we're all tied up 1-1.
Yeah, and Nespoli perhaps not as affected by the wind because of his bow weight, right?
Correct. Nespoli is probably shooting the highest bow weight of anyone on the circuit.
So they share the set points in the first set of this mixed team bronze medal match on Recurve Sunday. Nothing between Italy and India. And we take a look across all of the arrows by both teams here. What about these groupings?
You see that nice group in the low left and then another group high right. So definitely interesting how the two sides are responding to the conditions.
Well, I think certainly the wind started to play its part. It's dropped right off again. It just seems that at some point when one of the teams is on the line, we'll get a gust of wind.
Yeah, and this is where it's really crucial that your coach, your teammate talks you through. If they notice a big pickup in the wind, they need to signal to you while you're drawing back so you can execute the shot and change maybe your aiming position.
You can see the windsock there drooping down, just blowing a little bit because the wind has dropped off. And look at the flags down at the bottom of the range. On the right-hand side, they're blustering away. On the left, they're perfectly still.
Yeah, story of the week. We had flags going both directions on the field all through qualification day.
Well, Bombay Laishram gets India off the mark at the start of the second set. She hands over to Atal Verma. Very deliberate action on his draw.
Definitely, you see that front shoulder get set down as he raises up and sets it back down. So another 9. We see both teams shooting 9 after 9. Question is, can Italy put a 10 down there? And they do. 1 point advantage halfway through this set. So all 3 of her arrows so far have been on the high side. See if she made any kind of adjustment for this 4th arrow. No, another high 9.
I feel your frustration, Crystal.
As the coach, you know, I want that coach behind her to tell her, move your sight, move your sight.
Time ticking down there, and the pressure showed with an 8.
That's going to hurt.
Massive opportunity now for Italy.
So that noise you're hearing, that's the arrow coming through the clicker.
9 is enough.
Yep.
Bags of room for maneuver here.
So an 8 will win them the set, and they'll be up 3-1. Just an 8. That's solid 10.
Mara Nespoli stepping up there. 2 9s and 2 10s from the Italians. Enough to take the points in the second set, and a 2-point lead, 3-1 over India. Just 2 more required for the medal here in the bronze medal match in the mixed team event on Recurve Sunday.
So at 3 points, that means they can finish the set in this next end.
Well, we look back across this, and Verma shooting his last arrow for India into the 8. Nespoli's response, bang, straight down the middle, and a 10. And a high 5 immediately from his teammate. Now, the thing for me, Crystal, is how on earth does Tanetta know that's gone in the 10? It's 70 meters away. You can't see it.
Some archers can.
I don't believe you. I've stood on that shooting line. That's miles away. You can't see it 70 meters. Really, seriously, can they see it?
I can't, but many do. And a lot of it has to do with following the arrow flight, just like a golfer would follow the ball after they hit it, and they know exactly where it lands on the green.
Well, amazing stuff from the Italians. Can the Indians bounce back? Bombay Laishram shooting first again.
She got one. It's a 9, but her height was perfect on that arrow. So it looks like she did make a correction.
Well, 19 out of a possible 20 for India over to the Italians. Nespoli shooting first. And a 10. Slightly turned away. I think it almost looks like he doesn't really want to let the arrow go. But listen to this. You mentioned it, Crystal. Just the faintest of creaks this time.
Yeah, and it really depends on how tight your clicker is. If your arrows have maybe a little bit of dirt on them. It really bothers some archers to hear that noise, and other archers don't care.
I'm not sure I'd like it, to be honest with you.
Neun.
And another high 9.
Look at that set. It's very unique. I haven't seen any archer set quite so deliberately as that.
No, I haven't.
9.
So a 37, the target set for Italy. The form they're in.
I'm calling they take the set.
Tanetta, bit of a longer hold. Drops it out to the 8. So pressure on Mauro Nespoli. He needs a 10 to take the victory and the bronze medal for Italy.
Oh,
pulled that wide, and look at that.
Gave the set away.
Just like that. You just expect everything to go in one direction here in Berlin, and as we've seen time and time again in these matches, we get some strange twists in the tail. Italy looked set for a simple victory, 5-1, and then both the Italians drop 8s.
But if you notice, they're both left 8, so I'm wondering if there was some wind there that caught the arrow, pushed it. I noticed them looking back, talking to the coach.
Well, you mentioned earlier on that light can have a difference on left and right, and the sun came right out during these final 2 shots. Tonetta shooting 1-8. That wasn't necessarily the biggest surprise. This one, though, the next shot, also
right
going
next
into
to it.
Yeah. Do you think the light may have played a
It
part?
very well could have. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Wir kommen in den letzten Satz. Nochmal einen großen Applaus für beide Teams. Auf geht's, Berlin!
Well, it's made a match of it.
India's feeling really good right now. They have all the confidence after thinking they were going to lose that set, lose the match, and now it's all tied up.
They've been thrown a lifeline with those 2 8s from Italy, so we move into the 4th set. 4 sets regulation in the team events.
So if they tie here, we'll get a shoot-off.
Nice Ram shooting first again. She piled it into the 8, the first one to the right for the Indians.
Yeah, that's her first arrow not in the 9 ring. She's shot no 10s, no 8s up until that point.
In the middle for Atul Verma.
You know, I almost wonder, after seeing your opponent shoot 2 left 8s, she might have overcorrected and aimed off a little and hit the right 8.
It's an interesting point that, as Nespoli puts it straight down the middle again. But not only have you got to have conversation with your own teammate about execution, about where to aim, but you're looking at what the other team are doing as well.
Some teams do, some don't, but yeah, you want to use all the information you have available to you.
So mini advantage for Italy at the halfway stage in the 4th set here. India need to put down a big marker. They need Leishram to put something closer to the center. Oh, no.
Not what she wanted.
A wry smile on her face there, but you'll know she'll be disappointed. A lot of pressure now on Atul Verma to put another one down the middle.
But we've seen stranger things today, so anything can happen.
A 9, a handy shot, 3 arrows in a line, just one high and out of the way into the 7. So a 34 the target set for the Italians. Anything more and they take the medal.
7-8.
And this time in a different spot again.
So 7 ties, 8 to win.
Mauro Nespoli to take it here for Italy. And he's put it right down the middle of the target. A smile of relief as much as anything else from Mauro Nespoli. Elena Tonietta, she played her part in that team match. They rallied after dropping 2 set points, gifting 2 set points to India in the third. They've come back to win. Italy are the bronze medalists here in the Recurve mixed team event in Berlin. Well, handshakes all round. Confirmation from the target judge that the Italians of Elena Tonietta and Mauro Nespoli will be on the podium a little bit later on here in Berlin, collecting the bronze medal in the Recurve mixed team event. Round of applause from the crowd here. The athletes have had their photo op. As we look back on this match, the start from the Italians was pretty cracking, but it was amazing to see them dropping points to India to share the set points. That grouping, though, in the second was incredible. Nespoli in particular shooting very well indeed. But then we had an interesting situation where we thought that the Indians had it, dropping an 8. Tonietta steps up. She puts it in the 9, but it was the 2 8s in the next set that really made the difference before the Italians fought back. And there was that 8. We expected Nespoli to go into the 10, and he followed her straight into the same spot. We don't know whether it was the light or the wind, but the Italians bounced back to score the winning shot. Nespoli putting it at the 10. Mauro Nespoli, Elena Tonietta from Italy will be on the bronze step of the podium a little bit later on. The crowd still being entertained here. Happy that the sun's come out. It's warming up. Rather fresh and brisky July afternoon here in Berlin. Coming up now, it's the gold medal match in the Recurve mixed team event, shooting over 70 meters. The last action in Berlin. Here's how the teams got to this stage. The Koreans coming through the top of the order, shooting a 13.03 in the ranking round, ranked first, beating Turkey in the quarterfinals before taking out India. Moldova are represented by the very strong Alexandra Merker and Dan Ulleru. Shot a 12.19 to be ranked 19th in the ranking round. They beat Germany and then Italy to make it through to the final here in Berlin. Well, the coaches and the referees are out. It's time to go back down to the range to welcome out the athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the mixed team gold medal match.
Well, here come Moldova in the shape of Alexandra Merker and Dan Olaru. They're known to be a very strong pairing, but you don't often get to say Moldova going for gold. For those of you that don't know much about the country, it's a republic, the Republic of Moldova. It's a landlocked country in Eastern Europe, bordered on one side by Romania and then on the other three sides by Ukraine.
Yeah, Moldova's definitely the surprise out here, but they fought hard to get here. They won 6-2, 6-0. They definitely show that they're going to be a strong opponent for this Korean team.
But they need to be strong. Anytime you say Korea are the opponents, it's always going to be a tough ask. An San, the 18-year-old, pairing up with Oh Jin Hyek, the 37-year-old. Different ends of the Korean spectrum in the squad.
That's for sure.
Potential superstar in the making, An San. Oh Jin Hyek, well, he's got Olympic medals, gold and bronze. Ranked 49th in the world, currently sitting in the Korean B team, but still a power on the world stage.
Yeah, I think everyone is expecting Korea to blow out this out, winning 6-0, but I really expect Moldova to give them a run for their money here.
Well, the great thing is that Berlin has offered a surprise in almost every single match throughout the weekend here. And as you said, Crystal, the wind conditions in the qualification period also threw up some strange scores and strange results. But this is for gold. Korea shooting on target 1 will get us underway here for the last action on Recurve Sunday.
She starts with a 9. That's a solid start. She'll be able to give feedback where she was aiming to her teammate O.
Well, having to redraw. Was that replacing the arrow there?
Yeah, it looked like the arrow just probably fell off the rest.
So time pressure potentially, but they're still inside the half of the regulation time provided for the athletes as O just makes a couple of adjustments to his sight.
Yeah, they're both pretty quick shooters, so should not be a problem with 40 seconds on the clock.
Well, very quick from Merker there.
So they're calling it a 9, looks like. And it looks like now it's showing up an 8-star, so we'll have to wait till the measurement comes in from the judge.
O with Korea's final arrow. Could put this out of reach provisionally, but he puts it on the 8-9 line. Right, so a perfect score for Moldova here, and they're definitely going to share the points. If that 8 gets marked up to a 9, they could have a two-set point lead.
Exactly, assuming they put 2 10s down there.
Хорошо, 9 на 10.
So a 9's not what they wanted.
Yeah, now they need that measure to go in their favor, just to tie up on points, and that with Olaru requiring a 10. He puts it in the 9.
So that arrow now does not matter. Korea wins this 2 set points, regardless of if that's an 8 or a 9.
Я, думаешь, вижу сюда. Она воткнулась там еще так. Сейчас ждем.
Korea wird 2 Satzpunkte hier erstmal mitnehmen in diesem Match Gold. Beide Teams haben übrigens noch nie gegeneinander geschossen. Also, das bleibt eine spannende Kiste hier.
Well, coach very clear
Алло, ты куда пошла, блин?
Moldawien,
with her instructions, staying very calm as well. It'd be especially clear if you understood Russian. But she seems to put a smile on her athletes' faces. By contrast, silence on the Korean side of the shooting line.
Yeah, you never see much talking between the Korean team when they're out there shooting in the finals field. The coach will give some words, but only what's necessary. No real extra. So it's confirmed it was an 8.
Yeah, but as you said, makes no difference. The set points go to Korea. Moldova trailing after the first set will shoot first in the second.
And again, team round, we go to a total of 5 set points, gets you the win.
Well, he's got his bins out. Same as me, can't see 70 meters down the range. And up into the 8 is not the start that Alexandra Mecha would have wanted.
A solid 10 by her teammate.
Yeah, I often mention about no fuss, no nonsense draw. Dan Oleru is in his draw before the camera can get onto him.
So feel the wind picking up a little bit out here.
Certainly can, but not affecting Ann San.
She's just had an incredible week, shooting solidly consistent all week long.
놓치지 말고 진혁이.
Bit of a movement there after the release, and yet again, adjusting his sight. So all level in this second set. Mecha needs a better second arrow.
That looked like a much better shot and puts it in the X-ring.
Well, super fast into the draw the first time. Still has 20 seconds left, but he pulled out of that one. Wind?
No, I'm guessing something didn't feel right. He's going to reset. 12 seconds. Plenty of time as quick as his shot is. And a solid 9. So good recovery there.
Oh, I'd love to know what they were saying there. He didn't panic, though. That's the key thing.
Exactly. Archers at this level know when they're setting it up, if something doesn't feel right, you got to let it down and just start from the beginning.
Opportunity here for O and Anne. A 9 to share the set points, a 10 to go 4-0 up.
10 it is.
Wow.
38, 37.
Right, so normally, once the Koreans start dialing in, you have to start worrying if you're the opponent. But we're in Berlin, Crystal, and anything seems to happen here.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy stuff, and we've seen Koreans shooting in the red after they were dialed in. So this next set could be pretty interesting.
Well, the Koreans getting better and better. And we have a look at how they matched up in that set. The Koreans in yellow, the Moldovans in red.
Yeah, we see a nice diagonal line from the top to the bottom of the target. So my guess is there is a little bit of wind playing for both teams. We see it. But ultimately, Korea more consistent, putting arrows in the 10 ring.
China geschlagen, sie haben Deutschland geschlagen im Viertelfinale und schließlich Italien im Halbfinale.
Well, here it was a difficult start for Alexandra Mecha, shooting an 8, but the recovery is what it's all about in archery, and she comes back with an X. Super stuff from the Moldovan. She'll shoot first at the start of the third set.
And great X to start this end. That's what they need. Put the pressure on Korea.
A bit of a wobble there after he released, but into the 10 for Olaru.
I'd really like to know how much weight he's pulling. It looks super light when he draws that bow. Almost looks like he's shooting a toy bow or something.
A maximum set by Moldova.
And what did we say? Korea in the red.
Incredible.
So O's going to want to put this right down the middle.
9.
Just off. Not what they wanted here. So that gives a 3-point advantage to Moldova heading into the final 2 arrows of this set.
Massive opportunity here. A huge opportunity. 38 in total will be enough. 2 9s will do it. It's a 10.
Beautiful. What a group they have down there.
Well, you talked about the weight of Olaru's bow. There it is, and you can see it's just an easy pull back, but look at the muscles in that back arm.
For sure. And he lets down again, 16 seconds this time, so definitely had less time. He couldn't pause. He really had to just pick it back up. And an 8.
It gets the 8 that was required to secure the points in the third set. And I'm wondering if it's something down at the end of the range that's distracting him.
I'm not sure. We do see the wind picking up here.
Well, these count for nothing other than rehearsal and practice for the next set. And another 8 from Anne. She's come right off the boil.
Yeah. Very surprising, but again, not surprising for today.
Oh, back into the center. So the first points on the board for Moldova. And boy, what a comeback they've made, capitalizing on 2 8s from Anne.
That was their statement. We're not going anywhere. We are fighting for this. We want to win.
Well, they needed a big score, and they got 3 10s. Mercia set things off in that set with an X, followed by Olaru. A second 10 for Mercia, and then the reset from Olaru, well, it pushed it into the 8 as time was running out, but that's all the Moldovans needed. They have closed the gap to just 2 points, but trail Korea 6-2 in this gold medal match.
In this fourth and final set, Moldova will go first. They have to win this set in order to win the match. Or to tie the match, sorry, correction.
Yeah, to stay in it.
Exactly. A tie here will give the win to Korea. Because we just need 5 points in team round.
So we need a big marker put down, and it's Alexandra Mercia from Moldova who will shoot first.
She needs another start just like the third end.
Good on the vertical, same line as the last 2 arrows, but just a bit to the right and into the 9.
He follows that up with a 9. That's not the start that they wanted here.
Door open for the Koreans, but they only shot a 35 in the last set. And San, the 18-year-old, shooting 2 8s in that set. Back in the center, though.
Saw a little fist pump from her. She was pretty excited about that.
Another reset from O. That's his third of the match. Pulling that one. Looks like it's on the line. It's been marked as a 10. I wonder if that will go to a measure, though.
Moldova really needs to put 2 10s down here at this point.
9-2.
Another 9 though.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to do it.
Olerud with his last arrow into the 10, a 37 set. So room for manoeuvre here for Korea. Oh will want An San to put down a big score to take the pressure off him in the anchor rong for Korea. Oh, a lovely response. 30 out of 30 so far.
So 7 wins the match because that would tie this set, giving them 5 points.
Another reset from O though. Inside 10 seconds. Nice and calm, releases it down the range, shoots a 9, more than enough for Korea to take gold in the Recurve mixed team event here in Berlin. Well, look, it wasn't the same as always. Korea styling in and then just staying there and blasting through to the gold medal match. They had a blip in that third set.
They did, and really take nothing from Moldova. They had some great ends. Lose with a 37, 2 different ends. That's some great shooting by them.
Good stuff from Alexander Mercer and Dan Olerud, but it's An San and Oh Jin Hyek who take the gold here in Berlin in the Recurve mixed team event. And the crowd are going wild for the brilliant archery they've seen here on Recurve Sunday. When we look back over the match, Alexander Merker shot an 8 early doors, but she recovered with a 10. An San, well, she also had a couple of 8s in the third set, but she recovered well. But Oh Jin Hyek, he was a masterful performer, having to reset on a number of occasions throughout the match, as did his male counterpart on the Moldovan team. Here he is, Dan Olerud. He was nailing the 10s early on as well. These 8s from An San, 2 in that third set, were what opened the door for Moldova to come back in. And boy, did they capitalize. 3 10s and an 8, their best score throughout the match. But then, well, it was a final 39 from Korea out of a possible 40. And that is what took them to the 6 points and the win and the gold here in Berlin. So that's the mixed team competition complete here at the 4th stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Korea on top of the podium, from Moldova, who will collect a silver medal. Italy beating India for the bronze medal here in Berlin. Well, it's been a brilliant weekend and a brilliant week of archery here in Berlin at the 4th and final stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup Series. The tour has taken in Shanghai, which was just a couple of weeks after the first event in Medellin in Colombia. We were back on the beach in Antalya just a few weeks ago for the 3rd stage, and Berlin, a brilliant host for the 4th and final stage. The crowd have been packed out. Too much excitement for some. And they really have enjoyed the top-class archery, and it's been a fascinating tournament, Crystal. You couldn't predict anything. Every time we called something, something else happened.
Exactly. It was like that all week. You saw that through qualification. You saw that through the head-to-head matches, and we saw it here in the finals field.
We certainly did, and it was a great spectacle for all those fans that braved the brisk conditions this morning. They were a little bit...
Oh, it was beautiful. What are you talking about?
It was freezing. It's July, you know. Well, they're all staying in the crowd. Yes, Little joker there on the back line. Putting up the rabbit ears over his friend. It's still pretty grey out there, but it has warmed up a little bit. The sun's poked its head out a few times, and that's why the crowd are hanging around. They want to see the very, very last of the action here. And the medals being presented for the Recurve mixed team event. And I think the crowd have started to spot when they're on the big screen, and there you go, a big wave from everybody. Well, it's time to go back down to the range to present those medals for the Recurve mixed team event here in Berlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the Recurve mixed team.
Meine Damen und Herren, es folgt die Siegerehrung für Recurve Mixed Team. Medaillen werden übergeben vom Generalsekretär der World Archery.
Tom Dillon. Gifts will be presented by German Shooting Sport and Archery Federation Vice President.
Die Präsente werden übergeben vom Vizepräsidenten Sport des Deutschen Schützenbundes.
Gerhard von Ihr. Bronze medal representing Italy.
Well, here they are, our medalists in the Recurve mixed team event. The bronze medal goes to Elena Tanetta and Mauro Nespoli of Italy.
Good to see you back in the team. Congratulations.
Medals being presented by Tom Dillon, the World Archery Secretary General.
Congratulations, great shooting.
The Berlin Bears being handed out by the German Shooting Sport and Archery Federation Vice President Gerhard Fernier. So Tanetta and Nespoli of Italy with the bronze in the Recurve mixed team. Great to see Moldova performing so well in Germany. They couldn't quite pip Korea in the gold medal match, but they'll be delighted with the silver medal. Alexandra Merscher and Dan Olaru of Moldova collect the silver medal and their Berlin Bears.
Congratulations.
Gold medal representing the Republic of Korea.
Well, they brought their B team, but their B team was good enough. Korea are the gold medalists in the Recurve mixed team. The 18-year-old An San paired up with the 37-year-old Oh Jin Hyek were a great pairing. They had a wobble in the third, but came back strongly in the fourth set of the gold medal match. And they proudly stand on top of the podium. They don't get to compete in every event on the circuit, but they did get to compete here, and they took their opportunity to take the gold, and now they'll have the opportunity to listen to their anthem.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte erheben Sie sich für die Nationalhymne der Republik Korea.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
Meine Damen und Herren, bitte geben Sie all unseren Athleten einen herzlichen Applaus.
Well, there we have it, confirmation. Korea taking gold here in the recurve mixed team from Moldova. Italy collecting the bronze. Crystal, what an amazing place this is, and what brilliant archery we've seen on Recurve Sunday.
Yeah, I really think that the big highlight of the day was there wasn't one single highlight. Every match had something exciting, and we didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, thank you very much for your wonderful insight. It's been a pleasure having you in the commentary box.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to all the athletes.
Well, here is confirmation of the results on Recurve Sunday in the individual and mixed team. And San taking the Recurve women's gold. Mete Gazos defending the title he won last year. And Korea on top of the podium in the mixed team medal match. So 4 stages complete in the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Let's just have a look back at how it finished for the women. Kang Chae-young, a stage winner, along with Zhen Yichai and An San winning here, booking her place for the World Cup finals in Moscow. Tanya Ting, Sugimoto Tomomi and An Kuijan join Ksenia Perova of Russia as athletes qualified by ranking. So that's the women sorted out. The recurve men's standings, well, they finished, and it was a thriller in the end. Brady Ellison, Lee Woo-shuk taking stage wins earlier on in the season. Mete Gazos taking the stage win here in Berlin. Automatic spots for them in Moscow. The ranked athletes that qualified are Chef Vandenberg of the Netherlands, along with his teammate Steve Vire, a little bit further down the ranking list. And it's a breath of relief for Kim Woo-jin, who qualified as a result of Mete Gazos' win here in Berlin. And they're joined by Mauro Nespoli of Italy in Moscow in just a few weeks' time. Well, we've been building up all season to the World Cup finals in Moscow. 4 events, all culminating in the World Cup final on the 6th and 7th of September in a city that has absolutely changed over the last few years. It's a beautiful place and famous for its world sporting events. The Hyundai Archery World Cup final in the Russian capital in just a few weeks' time. Well, that's it from all the action here at the 4th stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup in Berlin. Thanks very much for joining us along the road to Moscow. We'll be back in a few weeks' time for the finals.